This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season of Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, my close personal friends, Mike Collins and E.B.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. I am here with my friend E.B., ready to talk theme parks and thrill rides.
This is an extra dorky episode of Coaster Radio, Mike, because it is IAAPA week, and we are joined live right now from the IAAPA floor from our friend Drew from In the Loop. This is so much fun.
Drew, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on the show today.
This is great. This is an interesting episode because we normally drop our episodes on Thursday nights. We are recording live on Thursday night so that we could get to the end of IAAPA week. So this is going to be a special show. No editing, no like fancy stuff. We're just going to, put this show out pretty much as we record it. But the best part about that is we are going to get the latest of what was happening at IAAPA from you who were there on the ground the entire time.
Yeah, it's really fun that you've got an In the Loop guy on here and you're releasing this episode in the Loop style where it's just record and go.
This is going to be a 4.5 hour episode, Mike. In the Loop style all the way.
Right.
Someone's already wondering if that was a true, and then they just looked at their podcast feed to see
double check
that we just told a lie.
Yeah. No, this is great. So, Drew, thank you so much. Mike and I were just talking about how we need to get to IAAPA more often. We did go one year, and we absolutely loved it, but for whatever reason, we keep not going back, and we keep having to go through our stable of people cooler than us who go to IAAPA. So welcome back. You've done reporting for us before from IAAPA. We're just so thrilled to have you back. We're not even doing like first drop and news and stuff like that because all of the news is IAAPA. And Drew, thank you again just so much for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me. I think probably the most interesting thing that got announced on the floor, completely out of left field, was the S&S launch coaster going to Mango's, which is a nightclub on International Drive here in Orlando, across the street from where the Polar Coaster got announced like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Also an S&S roller coaster, mind you. But this has got some concept art, and it looked pretty flashy. And the news broke like 90% through the first day at IAAPA. And no one really saw that coming. So I would say, I don't know if it is coming, but I really hope it does. And that's really exciting.
I think this is a great place to just jump right into the conversation with one of the biggest, weirdest things. I think we do need to step back just in case we've got some new listeners maybe who aren't familiar with IAAPA, the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. This is the gigantic mega expo that happens at the Orange County Convention Center down in Florida in Orlando. Drew, can you just kind of, before we really get into the specifics, and I do want to talk about this Mango's roller coaster and who's behind it, but just give us the big view of what this is for someone who's actually going and what it looks like, and then we'll start getting into things.
Perfect. So like you said, it's the big mega trade show. It is for anything that is remotely related to the amusement industry. So you have vendors that are selling roller coasters, rides, to the vendor that sells name tags and vacuums, to arcade games, penny presses, inflatables, the fog machines from the at haunt props, Christmas props, to companies that are selling like turnkey family entertainment centers where if like you want to own your own and you like leased space inside of this former CVS, they've got a concept that they can plop and drop inside of that for you to open up your own turnkey FEC.
Okay, so and it's overwhelming and massive. Mike, do you want to kind of recall our visit and what it was like, first impression when you we attended?
Yeah. I mean, because IAAPA, if you are a fan of theme parks or, even just amusement industry in general, IAAPA is something that you just know about. And when you get there the first time and you just walk in, it's just sensory overload because you walk in and there's like a roller coaster on the trade show floor that you can go and ride. And then you can go around the corner and somebody's making mini donuts that a park could buy and have like a mini donut machine. And then you walk around the corner, there's animatronics and somebody trying an AI robot that can talk to you. And then you go crazy because then you get to this whole section where it's nothing but redemption games.
Right.
All just turned on, ready for you to play.
And you can
just
play
them over and over. Yeah,
Yep.
it's so great. I mean, just from a fan perspective, but if you were somebody who runs a family entertainment center or a park, there's just whatever you need for your business or your park is there at IAAPA. It's crazy.
And then there's things you probably never thought you needed that are also for sale at IAAPA.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I got to say, one thing, I love the In the Loop YouTube channel. There's always so many great things because you guys travel. You and the legend, everybody travels, and they're like immediately, like you guys were on the show floor and had a video ready to go, like a 15-minute video where you went to, was it 42 different booths in that 15 minutes? Yeah. Amazing. And you just really get a sense of what that show is all about through your guys' video. So everybody, you should go and check that out. It's really amazing. And I enjoyed it today. I spent my lunch break just watching that video and kind of getting a sense of what was going on.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We've been doing this forever. This was my 13th time going to IAAPA. Mm-hmm. And Legend's been going longer than me. Clint's been going longer than me. And for a while, we were doing, each booth got its own video, and it was like a 5 to 15 minute interview. And that was exhausting, getting all of those edited up and everything. Mm-hmm. And then we realized a couple years ago that the better aspect is put the one video together where we just do like the mega IAAPA video where we show all the things that we think are cool on the floor in one video. And then that was doing better for us. So that's why our content has changed over the years. We get asked that almost every year. So that's where I'm disclaimering here. But if you go back on our YouTube channel, you can see playlists from like 2010 IAAPA, 2011 IAAPA, all the way up. And it's like, and so you'll see like things that we're like, oh, this is really cool. And then it just never came to, or you end up seeing like, oh, this concept's really cool. And then it ends up being there. Like we were there when ZDTs announced their Switchback coaster. Yep. And so like earlier this year when I went to ZDT's closing day, like talked to the family and I was like, I don't know if you remember me. And they're like, you're from In the Loop. Like you did our first interview and stuff. So it was like crazy how like In the Loop is so well known at IAAPA. And like my roommate, she's like really professional in this industry and like really important in the industry and has a ton of important connects. And she tried to introduce me to someone and he's like, oh, I know who Drew the intern is.
There you go.
Amazing.
No.
Right?
And so it was
That's
like
so great. Yeah.
No, this is so much fun because if you're a fan of Coaster Radio and you don't know In the Loop, then I don't know what your problem is. Go back and find In the Loop and listen to these guys. They've been doing this for a really long time. Drew, I think our favorite example of this is way back. Coaster Radio has been doing this, little bit longer than In the Loop, we like to say. 20 years. Minecart Madness, the Donkey Kong cantilevered roller coaster. I think that's the ride that we had the concept and the rumor of the furthest away from it actually coming into fruition. And I remember talking about it on Coaster Radio. And that's one I'm so thrilled about. Has nothing to do with IAAPA, but has to do with exactly what you're saying. The longevity of Coaster Radio and In the Loop is just something really special and really fun. So yeah, this is great that we're coming back together again here at Coaster Radio's 20th season.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
So you were already teasing. We're going to talk about the 2 ride announcements. There's a lot of rides that we know are coming next year that had like ride vehicles being shown off and more art and more details being shown off at IAAPA. But 2 actual rides were announced. The first that you were talking about there is deranged millionaire Joshua Wallach's skyscraper roller coaster. I guess didn't happen, but now he's going to build this SNS roller coaster on iDrive. Tell us about this. Allegedly, exactly.
Well, it's a bright green lit up SNS launch coaster that's going to be squeezed into the front parking lot of Mango's.
Wow.
And if you look at like Google Earth, I'm not quite sure where it's going to fit, but I'm super excited for this because, new attractions coming to like my hometown of Orlando is always cool. I wanted the Polar Coaster to come. Never thought it was no, that's a lie. I definitely thought it was going to, but then I was young and inexperienced and didn't really understand like how the world works.
Now you know.
Now I know, and now I never think this is going to happen. Yeah. But to be fair, Josh's first plan was Mango's, second plan was the garage, and third plan was a roller coaster. And the Mango's and the garage have been here for a little bit, so it is, I guess, time for our SNS launch coaster, which looks like a bigger, taller, faster Gale Force over at Playland Park in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. And did it look in the concept art like there was a tower too, like a launch tower, right? Like is that from SNS maybe? Yeah.
Word on the street is that's Marineland's drop tower coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Which I don't know for sure, but it seems like the same style, like 3-tower concept, and Marineland's drop tower's got to go somewhere, and so that's the rumor that it's Marineland's. And, I mean, that's
relocated.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
No, this looks like a lot of fun. What about the I think the announcement that we all were anticipating? RMC said a rail coaster was going somewhere, and everybody was speculating about where it would go. Mm-hmm. Were you there for the announcement of where this RMC Raptor was going?
So we tend to not go to the press conferences anymore because I don't know if you've ever seen videos of the press conferences, but it's like 100+ enthusiasts all filming like the same shot with their iPhones or their cameras up on sticks. And we've discovered that if you roll up like 20 minutes later after the press conference, you can get better footage for like our big YouTube footage. And the only thing we're missing is the sheet being pulled off of the ride vehicle.
Yes.
But like the ride vehicle's then on display for the rest of IAAPA. So we did not go to the RMC press conference for that. But I mean, obviously we learned that Family Kingdom's getting themselves a family single rail.
Yeah, this is Myrtle Beach's only, do they call it Myrtle Beach's only seaside park, Family Kingdom? And it looks like they're taking out a couple of flat rides and maybe a small go-kart track to squeeze this thing in.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. Myrtle Beach is a great tourism town, and that park hasn't really expanded in ever, I think, as far as like I've been aware of it. It's like its newest ride was like it might have gotten some flat rides, but its newest coaster was a relocated Wild Mouse that was built there like 10+ years ago. So this is a really cool addition for them. Swamp Fox is an awesome coaster that's already there, so it gives it a nice like 1-2 punch, and I guess gives people the reason to go back to Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the things that you mentioned that we loved when we were there that one year for IAAPA was going around to the different booths and seeing the ride vehicles from each of the ride manufacturers. And usually they bring a ride vehicle that's going to be featured in a new attraction for the upcoming year. And so already, like, there were a ton that were in the video that you guys produced, and, we're seeing just a ton on social media. Let's talk about some of those and some of the ride vehicles you saw, and maybe some that surprised you or looked really interesting.
Yeah, so the new Dollywood, is it Night Flight?
Night Flight Expedition.
I'm blanking on the... Yeah, Night Expedition. That ride vehicle looks, 1, massive, 2, super expensive, and when I was looking at the concept art, I was like, why are the seats so far apart? This doesn't make sense. And then when we saw the vehicle live, and I was like, oh, that's where their onboard audio is. That makes a ton of sense now, why they have their seats far apart. But that looks super cool. And that boat's massive and looks awesome. And Mac does a great job of making awesome looking ride vehicles from like Time Traveler and Stardust Racers in Orlando here. So that's another home run ride vehicle they've got there.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a big 10-seater boat, roller coaster hybrid thing, and I was just going to say, and Drew, you tell me, I was really thrilled to see the ride vehicles as we get into this section of IAAPA, being able to see them up where you can really look at them from all angles and even kind of lean down and see the bottom of them. When you're in the park, you don't get to see the sides or bottom of a roller coaster train. But IAAPA, sometimes they even have them elevated up so you're really underneath and everything. And you can get really dorking out about the mechanics of them and things like that. So was that something that were experiencing, being able to get up and around all of these vehicles in a way that you never could in the park?
Oh, 100%. Also, in my like real life job, I'm a safety manager.
Yeah.
So I'm here looking at like bolts and like touch points of like guests getting into these things.
Oh, that's not where I would have put the handle.
Yeah, or not necessarily like that.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Or okay, so that's where that mounts and stuff. So I'm always working even when I'm not working. Like
nice.
I'll go to a park and I'll be like, ooh, I really like that idea, and so I'm like noting things down all the time. And so, yeah, we're definitely looking at restraints, looking at, okay, that like this boat, for example, it's got like a little knob in the center and then also a little knob on the end. And I'm like, okay, well, that's how they're going to keep like the height requirement really low, because you're going to work on containment so little kids can't climb out of this thing. And it's just stuff like that is what I'm looking at on the floor. It's just like when 2 years ago when Zamperla had their Top Thrill 2 train, and I was like, ooh, I feel like my foot could get into this wheel sitting here.
Yeah.
And it ended up not being there, but like it was just like things like that are always what I'm looking for and when I'm sitting on trains and stuff like that.
Yeah. And looking at pictures of this ride vehicle, it looks a little different than Mission Bermuda's, because on the side, I don't know if anybody was talking about this, Drew, there's like a metal piece that's on the side, each side of the boat, and I don't know what that's for or what that's going to be. And I don't know if that has to do with maybe the part of the ride that's going to be a little bit of a motion simulator. Is it something that stabilizes the ride when it comes in the station? But a lot of people talking about that, wondering what that might be for.
Yeah, we definitely saw it. I don't think anyone has an answer to that, but I think your guesses are pretty good. It's either that or somehow that's how it's going to power something.
Yeah,
but I think but yeah, no, it's super cool looking boat.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And you can get such a different look at them when they're out on the floor. Another one, I think, let's go down and talk about Tormenta. This is the Giga Dive Coaster. I think this is the meanest and most intimidating ride vehicle that was on the floor of IAAPA. Can you tell us what this is and what park it's going to and what it looks like?
Yeah, so Six Flags Over Texas pulled the curtain off and showed us Tormenta, their Giga Dive Coaster. And they had the front row with the train, all 7 or 8 of its seats there right on the floor. And so that dive coaster trains are already like massive. And I'm pretty sure, like, if you go back in history, like this is what started the ride vehicles, was when they debuted SheiKra's train at IAAPA for SheiKra's first year.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how this all started. And so when B&M has their big like vehicle up in front there, it just always looks awesome. Because also like B&M's got a nice booth that's like right in the front, right on the main aisleway. So it's always like the first thing you see when you come in is just this massive, massive dive coaster train that, yeah, like you said, it's an intimidating piece there up on the floor.
They're really cool.
Yeah. And like you said, EB, it was awesome. What was the train that was there when we were there? It was the stand-up roller coaster that went.
They had the Surf Rider. Yeah.
Yes, the Surf Rider, and they had it at an angle.
And
it was just
elevated.
So cool. Yes. So neat to see that. So the same here with Tormenta. So cool. Yeah. Let's see. What are some other ones? Oh, you know what was interesting? I liked, speaking of SeaWorld Orlando, the SeaQuest Legends of the Deep vehicle that was there.
Oh, this is a dark ride.
That's going to be suspended dark ride. That looked like a massive car as well.
Yeah, that looks like a very expensive ride system.
Yeah.
Which makes me really nervous that the theming is just going to be like budget cut here.
Yeah.
Because, man, that is so cool looking. It's 180 degree rotating. So they had that thing rotating around and showing everybody how it can go into the different positions. And I mean, that's huge. It can fit at least two, probably up to 4, like a whole family in one car. So you're looking pretty solid throughput on that. Really cool, really sharp looking ride vehicle there.
Yeah.
And it definitely has that like submarine-y type vibe for a SeaWorld dark ride.
Yeah. Anybody listening right now really needs to go and find the images of this. It's essentially shaped like a letter G, and it's a suspended dark ride. That's what's going to be so cool about this thing, is that you are in this submarine themed ride hanging over scenery. We'll see how effective the actual ride experience is, but the ride vehicle is really selling it for me. Yeah, looks great.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Also, speaking of like huge ride vehicles, what about Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift?
They're
like that,
cars. I mean, there's no denying it's a car. It's like a giant car. I mean, there's no better way to say it. Well, I remember seeing these, but Drew, I remember seeing these at Universal Studios Hollywood, and they were still wrapped up so that you couldn't see the detail of them, but they had them out. They were wrapped in like that black and white QR code looking stuff that they put concept cars in, but they had it out where people could see it. And I was like, that's a car. This is exactly what this ride vehicle needs to be. But now seeing it with, of course, that wrapping off of it with the headlights turned on, Drew, did this look and feel like a real car? Because it sure looks like one.
It's massive. It feels like the size of like a Honda Civic, which is It's awesome, right? Like the big giant front section, and then you've got the spots where the seats are, and it's cool because like most of the time, like you're besides like your aero loopers that have like that front nose cone, most rides like you just have like that small front, and then your like feet are like right there, right at the front of the train. And so for this to have that like big massive section of like space in front of it is just super cool and not something you typically see on rides. And with the cool like metal engine in front of it with like Toretto's car, like it's so cool. And we were talking to people at Intamin for this one, so that's not like the final image of the car. It is going to be look even like fancier when it actually makes to the ride.
Yeah.
Like the metal is going to be different on like the side pieces and the engine itself. Because I'll admit, when I got up close, like the engine definitely didn't look like an engine. It just kind of looked like fiberglass that was painted silver. And I guess it's turning into like full on like a metal, like resin, like fancy engine piece too.
Yeah. We have a question here in the chat room. Drew, maybe you can answer this. What is bigger, the Fast and the Furious cars or the Donkey Kong carts? Which one?
Oh, definitely the Fast and the Furious cars.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yep. Yeah. And another ride system that we saw on the show floor was the new Rail Rider from S&S. Did you get a chance to check that out too?
Yeah, they had two different models of this. They had their like standard one that's on their ride model that they're testing at their facility, and then they had this kind of minecart themed one that I guess sort of like brings you back to the soapbox derby racer at Knott's Berry Farm back in the 80s. Super cool. Also kind of weird.
You don't have to be nice. You're not there. It's okay.
Perfect.
You can say this thing looks like a janky garbage Nerf something. I don't know what this thing is.
Well,
Drew.
My problem is every year S&S is like, this is our new concept. They never sell one ever. Or they are like, here's our access coaster we sold to Saudi Arabia 2 years ago, and it just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, man. Like
this thing, it looks
I
like
love that they're innovating.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a pool noodle Nerf gun pickleball racket.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
And like, I know we're all parents here. EB, your kids are a little older, but like my kid's 7, and the last thing he wants to do is not sit next to me on like a thrilling roller coaster. Like he doesn't want to sit in a vehicle by himself. So I feel like nobody at S&S is parents and like bothered to like think about this. Like,
yeah, no, that's totally true. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's why it like
point.
Here, buddy, this is your seat. All right, now I'm behind you.
Goodbye.
And he's like, well, where's Dad? I can't see him.
Where are you going? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like to me, I think this is a terrible idea for a family coaster. But like at the same time, like I like the innovation. I like that the industry is going places and we're trying new things. But like S&S, I think a couple years ago when they came up with their steeplechase concept that was on IAAPA, and they had like horse vehicles, that was super cool. And if like this is where we were going, was bringing back the old steeplechase where we had horses on these things, I think that would do really cool.
Yeah.
But instead with it like being like the single rail car, but like 1-in-1, like it just, I don't get it. Especially because RMC down the hallway here now is showing that we're also going to do family single rail coasters. I think S&S is in a tough market with this one, and I wish them the best of luck. I don't know who they're trying to sell to though.
Yeah. I think if they were doing the soapbox derby or the horses, it might be a bit more friendlier for the kids. But yeah, this thing, it's a perfect combination of bad design and really weird looking.
Yeah,
it looks so non-traditional. It's detrimental, right? I love innovation. I love something different, but this is too much. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, let's turn our attention to, I think, the thing that like impresses people the most when they show up on the show floor, and that's that they actually have rides that people can go on. They're not just like models or something. They're the actual working rides. So, Drew, take us through like what was kind of impressing people on the show floor. Maybe we start with the Zamperla one, because that seemed like be like a big giant swing ride.
Yeah, and what did you ride?
I did not ride the Zamperla ride. typically the only ride I usually check out on the floor is the SBF Visa coaster, just to get the +1 there.
Nice.
And other than that, I mean, most of my day is honestly like just going around, talking to people, shooting content. So like waiting in line for rides kind of, even though it's like 1 or 2 cycles, like it just kind of kills the day if you keep doing that. So we just kind of watched it from the outside, and it's basically like I'm not gonna say giant because it's inside in the IAAPA showroom floor, but it's like the size of like a normal Zamperla flat ride, and you go up by flapping your wings like a bird. And then to go down, you just pull your arms in, and then the vehicle comes down, and it moves like at the speed of like the old parachute drop at Six Flags Great Adventure. And you like flap to go up, and then you let go to go down.
That's funny.
And I figured I would be super sweaty in my like dress clothes if I were to be like flapping my wings here to get up into the sky. But it looked really cool, and people seemed to having fun. And then also, they have a wheelchair accessible car on that. So something like
nice.
Morgan's Wonderland or Give Kids the World could get a completely wheelchair bound guest into that ride and have a similar experience.
That's great.
And the question I have that I didn't ask is, so do they then also have to flap their wings, or does theirs just go up automatically? Because that would be super unfortunate if you had like a quadriplegic in there that was just riding on ground level, looking around and seeing everybody else up in the air.
It's wheelchair accessible, but you're still not allowed to fully participate. That'd be terrible.
Yes. So I'm hoping there's some other way, like someone else can control that. Like the operator can just put it in like an auto mode where it goes up and down for them or something.
Absolutely. And there might be different ways, because Zamperla was working for a long time at trying to figure out how to make their rides more interactive, like with the Z Plus stuff. So I'm sure they've maybe got a different way to do that. Maybe even with voice or, something else, or maybe somebody, because I saw they had a seat behind the wheelchair accessible area. So maybe that too, or maybe there's a button, and any number of things. But yeah, such a cool concept though. And it was fun. It's another one of those rides that EB, you always say it's kind of more fun to watch than to ride, because you're just seeing people flapping their arms to make it go up and down. So
I do think that Morgan's in Texas did announce that they were acquiring one of these. I think the name is actually Wings. Zamperla continues to do the let's take a ride name and put a Z on it. Wings is going to be going to Morgan's Wonderland Park in Texas. So I'm sure they're going to have that accessibility feature all figured out by the time it actually shows up at the park.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, what were some other ones? I saw there was a kind of a new take on a rotor that they had there that looked
Indiana Beach.
Indiana Beach bought it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bought it right off the floor, didn't they?
Yeah, they might have bought it yesterday, because first thing I do when I get into the floor is I run over to, I don't actually run. I'm fat. Yeah. I'm not a runner. But I go over to the SBF Visa coaster to ride it first, because all of the coaster enthusiasts are rushing to that first press conference where they're going to pull the sheet off of one of the trains. And so I try to hit that when the line is the shortest. And
good idea.
The sign for the rotor, by the time the floor was open, already said this one was going to Indiana Beach.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like this transparent rotor that spins around, the floor drops. You can do the whole climbing up and over the walls like how people did in the old school rotor days. And it also has this really cool like camera and video system on it that was like a different company that had their own booth. I am blanking on their name, and I'm sorry. It just didn't matter enough to me for me to memorize it. But it's this sweet like tracking video. So it like takes video of the whole thing in like quarters, so like guests outside can see it.
Oh wow!
But then like it takes like the coolest pose you had during the ride, and it takes a photo of that, and then that's like the photo it sells of you, and it's completely like automated, so you don't have like the camera flashing going on and off, and so that was super cool.
Like AI sees what the coolest thing that you were able to do while you're on the ride. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I was excited to see this this concept ride. Is it called Anti-Gravity, I think, because it does have thinking about a Gravitron or a Revolution ride. It has the frosted plexiglass as sort of the container, so you can see the silhouettes of the people inside the ride as it's going around. But that does concern me, Mike, that plexiglass, anything kind of like clear plexi, over the years becomes dingy and gross. And Indiana Beach,
right.
not really the park that has the reputation for cleaning things. I can imagine this being like, let's go ride the mold moss ride.
Yeah, and like sunlight stains plexi.
It's brown and brittle and awesome. Now, I was thrilled, though, to see that this was a ride that, unlike a Revolution or something like that, where you have to just stay in your spot, and if you like lift your legs, the ride operator yells at you. It looked like this was designed intentionally for us to have fun, like the old rotor days, where you can crawl around a little bit on the inside of the thing. I'm just curious to see when it's actually in operation at a park, if they're going to let you do that, like the old days.
Yeah, no, I hope so. I think it's going to be park specific on that. I feel like Indiana Beach seems like the exact park that would 100% let you have fun on it. So
yeah, this is
hopefully,
cool.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. And then they had a couple of different models that go along with it. It's the same like kind of like vortex looking thing, but then they had different theming pieces that could go over it. And one was like this barn shape, so that way like because the top is open. And so you're going to want some sort of covering on this, or else on a rainy day, you're just going to fill your ride with
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what were some other? Were those the two main ones, or were there some other things that you could actually try out?
There was this crazy company out of Italy that I'd never heard of before that had this very sickening, small, looping, flippy.
The like single seater thing. I saw this on the video that you guys put up on your YouTube channel. It looks like, I don't even know how to describe it. You know, the Woodstock ride at Kings Island where you just sit inside the little tiny helicopter, but instead of it being on a track, it's just on a post and you rotate around it vertically.
Yes.
Like you just flip.
And it's controlled by the operator. So like it does like back and forth and momentum to go up and over it.
Wow.
But they were like really flipping it when we were filming because obviously they wanted to show off like how crazy this thing could be. So that one was really cool. And then at the Soaring Eagles booth, they had this ride vehicle that was kind of like it's the old over the top ride where you like swing back and forth and try to get like the swing set over the top.
Oh yeah.
But like you rock back and forth in your chair to give the ride momentum to get it up there. So like it really takes like a couple people in their seats rocking back and forth together to get the thing to actually go up and over the top.
Is it people powered or is there?
Yeah, it's people powered.
Oh my gosh, bringing that back. I remember seeing those and like seeing how scary and dangerous they were. I'll have to watch your video again and see that one.
No, that one is not in our video.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Typically, although most people don't, we always like to get permission before we start filming your rides because that's just the old school IAAPA rules. Mm-hmm. Now no one seems to care, but like we still ask, and the booth was busy, so we just never ended up getting over there. But it was at the SNS, or no, it was at the
Soaring Eagle.
The Soaring Eagles booth. And then also, which was cool, and they haven't done this in a while, is there was actually like an outdoor ride for the first time in years. And again, we didn't walk over there because it was just a normal sized pirate ship. But IAAPA used to put like 4 or 5 rides in the parking lot that you could also go ride. And it was always like...
Oh, and inflatables too. They used to put inflatables out when we were there.
Yeah. So they had the inflatables out like usual. But then this year there was a pirate ship out there. Apparently it was a very unexciting pirate ship. Like as the world has progressed, those rides have become less and less fun and more like restrictive on their restraints.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. You now have people climbing out of rides. You didn't have that 15 years ago.
Yes, right.
So now your number one thing is safety. Like before, if like you got hurt at an amusement park and it was your fault, it was your fault. Now if you get hurt at an amusement park and it's your fault, well, it's the ride's fault for not preventing me from being able to climb out of this vehicle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, this is so much fun going through all of these things, and we've got a lot more to talk about. So let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about one of my favorite things at the IAAPA show floor. EB, I think it's one of yours too. I love seeing models of rides that haven't been built yet, or models concepts. Of concepts and stuff. So we'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about all of the cool new redemption games that they are had at the show floor and could be coming to an arcade near you, plus a bunch of other stuff on the show floor. We're here with Drew from In the Loop, having a good time. We'll be back right after this.
This is Coaster Radio. Welcome back to the 20th anniversary season of Coaster Radio. Here are your hosts, Mike Collins and EB.
Welcome back, everybody, to the original theme park podcast. You are listening to Coaster Radio. My name is Mike. Not only am I here with EB, but also Drew from In the Loop. This is a lot of fun, Drew. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. I've had to censor myself a couple of times because I know that shows are a little different here. So I was really passionate and had to hold in an F-bomb at one point. But I'm having a good time.
That's great. What do they say? You guys say at the top of every show, like adult language, occasional adult language will be used. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. You always. I love it. I love listening to In the Loop, and I like the fact that you guys do super long shows because it's great. You could on my commute. Some days I've got a 30-minute commute. Sometimes it's less, so I can listen. But I know I've got a little more to go, and it takes me a good week. A whole commuting week I got of In the Loop.
Listen to an episode of In the Loop.
Yeah.
No, and we do a listener survey, and we do have people who comment in our survey who say, you guys should do long shows like In the Loop. I love that. They just talk and talk and talk.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
We assume people either listen when they're in traffic or when they're doing a big theme park road trip.
Right.
Yep.
And half the time it's because one of us is doing a big trip. So Legend was driving back from he did this bottom of America road trip, and he was coming back from New Mexico, and he had a drive from New Mexico to Orlando that he had to make in 3 days. And so we were all right. And then, so that broke our record. It was a 5.5 hour episode.
Wow.
And I was and we were timing it up for his middle of nowhere Texas drive.
That's awesome. That's so great.
That's awesome.
So great.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, so it's great to have you here, and I like that both of our shows have a long history and of talking to each other and doing things and stuff. So that's really fun. Let's talk a little bit more about the IAAPA show floor. We teased it before we went to the break. I love seeing models on the show floor. They can't always bring a ride, but sometimes they'll bring a great model, maybe of an attraction that's been built, maybe of a ride system. I saw one of the booths had a model of the ride vehicle from Ministry of Magic, and that looked cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the things you saw. Some of the things I saw in the Loop video that you guys posted too. Really cool stuff.
One of our favorites was this Italian company, Fabbrari, and they had a really sweet flat ride that it just screams Canada's Wonderland is going to get this at some point, just because that's what that park gets, these massive flat rides. And it's like the Windseeker Tower, where it's a big tower where the vehicle goes up in the air. But then the vehicles kind of are split in half, and the left side is flipping upside down counterclockwise, and the right side is flipping up clockwise.
Weird.
And so they're doing this inverting flipping thing, probably 50, 60 feet in the air. And it looked super cool in a model. And then I mean, I probably won't ride it. It'll probably make me dizzy, but that one looked super awesome. And then KMG, the flat ride folks that make every fair ride ever, that had the crazy double pendulum ride. It was Max Air on top of Max Air. Okay. And so then they were both doing their Max Air rides while also flipping on top of each other.
I saw that one too. That looks, I mean, it looks like something that somebody created in Roller Coaster Tycoon or something, something that couldn't be, but these companies are saying yes, we will build it for you and bring it to your park. It's kind of wild.
And then Mauer's got a ton of models at their booth. And the one I liked, I don't even think we put this in the video, but I was just really having fun playing with it. They had a roller coaster car of theirs, but it was the size of my dining room table. So it was not a full size model. Yep. It wasn't a small thing, but it was big enough that I could pick up the restraints and stuff and look at it. And if I had teddy bears, they could sit in this, this thing. And I was it was like a Labubu sized roller coaster car.
I love it.
And so that was super cool. But they also had all their models. They've got some wacky looping coasters. And if you know that Mauer's selling their like spike coaster, which is like human powered, where like you pick the speed of how your ride is going.
Yes.
Right.
And they were showing they've got one that's got a loop. And if you don't make it through the loop because you braked or you used not enough power to get through it, then it like was showing how it like rollbacks and then it will like launch you through the loop and then you'll continue on with your ride you've powered yourself.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I saw that one. That was kind of cool how it was the spike coaster again, where you can kind of, it's like motorbike style and you can control your speed, but you could kind of determine if you wanted a rollback or not by not going through the loop, but then it would force you through it.
yeah.
Cool.
So that was the concept Maurer had on the floor. And not a model concept, but GCI is their like handout had a whole bunch of really cool concepts that they were showing off of like shuttle coasters and coasters with like vertical loops and stuff like that they were trying to push.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. Like, I just want a really good wooden coaster. Like,
Right.
Go back to selling Mystic Timbers, right? Like that ride's incredible, and we don't need things with like spiral lift hills and stuff like that. I maybe I'm traditional. I've just been a fan for so long, but like, I see all the parks that they're not building wood coasters, and you go to Kings Island, like Mystic Timbers is most people's favorite ride there, and
Yeah.
I get it. It's hard to market, but versus a crazy wood coaster with like a steel loop. Like, I mean, I guess actually that would be pretty cool if Kings Island were to be like Son of Beast 2.
Yeah, bring
and
something
it's
back,
like a
yep.
GCI that has a steel loop. That might actually like, it might do well. But, you know, I don't know how many people need a wooden coaster with a steel vertical loop in it, but be sweet if we got one.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
And then the last concept that's like coming to mind right here is Zamperla was showing what they did with Top Thrill 2, and they're like, and this is relatively what we can do. And it was like a 500 footer that was very similar to Top Thrill with like it was like a model of Top Thrill and then showing how much bigger their spike could be and their top hat could be for a 500 foot tall version of Top Thrill 2.
Yes. This thing
I
was
always wonder about that. Like when Cedar Point contracted them, did they say like, okay, you can do it, but you can't sell one that's higher for X amount of years? I always wonder about like if those type of things get put into the contract, because Cedar Point wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want somebody going higher right away. But
it's a good question, and I would bet probably just because I know Zamperla really wanted that contract.
yeah,
Because they were not the only company to like bid on it, and I think they really wanted that, which is why you saw that the Cedar Fair parks the year before all get Zamperla flat rides.
yes,
I have no factual base on this, but I'm sure all of that was in the contract together. It was like, hey, if we get this, you guys get that.
right, sure. I bet I wouldn't be surprised.
So
yeah.
I would not be shocked if they were like, hey, we need a couple of years in America or whatever to do this. But I mean, as you saw, it kind of takes Zamperla a couple of years to get their coaster right anyway. So as long as they start building a couple of years early, they'll probably still get to their
There you go.
their timeline.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about like one of the biggest areas of the show floor is really one of the biggest areas in the amusement industry, and that's the redemption games. And I loved it the year that we went because there were so many cool concepts that you'd never seen before, or people taking an old concept and bringing it forward. One of my favorite things that you guys did in your YouTube video was just playing some of the games. I mean, and there were some surprising ones too, with like surprising IPs, like Back to the Future. I've never seen a Back to the Future, redemption game, but they had that. Take us through some of the things you saw today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the coolest IP we saw on the floor was the Back to the Future game. And it was really funny because there was 3 of them in like a triangle.
Yeah.
And 2 were on the show floor. And those had like massive lines and people were like trying to play them. And then the one on the backside that was like in the booth, nobody was playing. So I ended up playing it a couple of times. And I kind of feel, so it was like this big Back to the Future clock. And it was like 2 circles. One was like a speedometer. And then the other side had the big famous, like, someone's going to kill me on this. Like the timekeeper. What is that? What do they call that thing in the movie?
The flux capacitor?
No, like
The time circuit.
You had like the
time
Time
circuit.
circuits.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other side had the
on.
time circuit.
Yeah.
We need Chips, Dips, and Dorks back. So
Yes, that's
right.
right. That's right.
We refreshed on this.
Yes,
Wow, deep cut.
Old school. Old school.
Yeah. So, and then you had like a steering wheel, and you had to spin the wheel 88 miles an hour to hit the bonus.
Oh,
And
interesting. Yeah.
and so like depending on how fast or how slow you went, you got like tickets, and like different sections of the speedometer was like this section was worth 5, this one was 20, this one was 10, this one was like 45, and then the bonus was if you hit 88 miles an hour, and that's when you get the big ticket bonus.
Yeah.
So it really felt like they were like, we want a Back to the Future game that features 88 miles an hour. How can we do it? And what's awesome is I played probably like 10 times, but if you go on our Facebook Reels, I actually hit the 88 miles an hour in the one take we're filming for Facebook Reels.
Oh.
And then there's this really cool like Back to the Future show scene that comes along with it, and like lightning strikes and all of this kind of stuff. So
Cool.
it was super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool game. And then they also had, I don't know if you're familiar with one. It's like an arcade version of the High Striker, where you like take the mallet and you hit the barrel, and then the lights go up and you try to stop it into the bonus.
Yes. Yep.
Well, for this year they had very similar concept to this, but it's a drop tower, and so the ride vehicle goes up, and then you're trying to drop the ride vehicle into and stop it in the bonus section.
Oh.
And so like there's different like ticket values depending on where you stop the ride vehicle.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And so that one was super cool. And then another booth had this gas pump game, which really shows like you can turn anything into an arcade game.
Oh, man.
And it was like you squeezed the gas handle and you had to like pump like a perfect like $10 or whatever value it gave you. And depending on how close you got to the $10 was how many tickets you got.
It's like OCD the game, where you have to like, I have to get exactly this much gas. I have to end on an even number.
I play that game in real life though when I'm pumping gas, trying to get it exact. Yeah. Mhm. I love
But like unless you don't hit it exact and you're like, oh man, I stepped off, like I'm at like $9.97 instead of $10. You're like, well, I didn't win the bonus.
Yes.
Yep. And then
cool.
the guy next to you, he flicks his cigarette and you catch on fire because it spilled over the gas tank and the whole thing.
That's
It's
right.
awful. I wanted to ask you about I saw in your video that you guys posted on In the Loop, this water gun. And when I say water gun, it's not a gun that shoots water. It's a gun that's in the water and it shoots
yeah.
a ring through the water. How does this even work? And what's the application for this thing?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, like 6 years ago, there was this company called Aquacar that debuted their underwater.
You put the helmet on, or you get in the ride vehicle and you actually go inside the water of the aquarium.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the shooting apparatus for their
No.
video game version of the Aquacar.
We can't gamify going into the aquarium, and we're
Oh,
just
they
like,
did.
hey, that tuna looks delicious. Boom, serve it up.
And it shoots like
did.
the perfect ring on it.
And
Yeah.
we just shoot the fish. No.
And the idea is that they would have targets in the aquarium, right? That you would shoot the water.
I thought I was going at
rings.
lunchtime, and I was
I'm like, there's
yeah,
the dolphin.
mahi, great, yum.
Yeah.
No.
But you're right. It's this perfect ring of water that like.
Yeah,
shoots-
it's like an air cannon that shoots it out.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah. It just
And
shows
then
you.
the guy was showing us a video of what it sounds like above water, because of like the huge like air pressure. It sounds like an actual gun is going off.
Oh, wow.
But then in the tank, it's just like bloop.
Yeah.
This is another one I feel like has been around at IAAPA and people have been talking about for a long time, but has not had a practical real world application that any of us have actual access to.
Right.
Well, it's another one of those that is announced for Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
We'll see if it actually happens.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I saw a couple other games too that you were playing that were fun. Like one was the traditional Papa Shot basketball
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But in this case, the backboard is on like a robotic arm and it's moving back and forth and side to side. So like
Yeah, no, that was super cool. It was like, and it had like a bigger hoop and then a smaller hoop. And so like, and it would just like, every time you made a shot, it switched the basket either like a different size, different location. And so there was the shot clock on there, and you got points based on like how quickly you got it into each shot.
Yeah.
So it was like 15, 14, 13, 12, and then at 0, then it would move on to the next one anyway. But as soon as you made your shot, then it would go to the next thing, and that's how many points you got into the game.
Yeah.
And it's like the size of the big giant basketball games you see at Dave and Buster's that are like the like foul shot thing. Only this one, the hoops are on arms and like moving around. It looks very expensive.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. Well, tell us about just overall in any category, just other things that you saw on the show floor that kind of piqued your interest, or things you thought, hey, this could really work in a park.
Yeah, weird prizes in food, I think, especially. That's what I want to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. First thing I got to talk about is because I'm the safety manager at work, and the Bristles vacuum company had this really cool concept that I really pitched to my GM, and he said no. But it is one of those wet floor sign cones, but on the bottom of it is a fan that sucks up your spill.
Oh,
so it's on like wheels, and you just move that wet floor sign over the spill, and it sucks up the whole spill after, or like dries the floor. So like someone spills their beverage or whatever, you've mopped it, the floor's now wet, and now you can just do this over that quick spot right there, and then it's already dry here in like 30 seconds, rather than like leaving the wet floor sign out and then just waiting for it to no longer be wet.
yeah.
Like a Roomba or a Shark vacuum, but it is not only the wet floor caution sign, it's actively working to...
Yes, well, we're not there yet. It's still human powered. You have to be the one that moves it over over it. But it honestly, like, it's still cool. Like, slips, trips, and falls are like absolutely the number one incident in the theme park industry. And so I loved this and immediately was like, hey, this, I really want it.
We need it.
And,
Yeah, I love that idea. We're going to see that in the parks. That will be something that people will pick
McDonald's already has it in all of their stores. So if you spill a soda in McDonald's, you'll get to see this in action.
I might go spill one at McDonald's just to see it in action. Yeah.
Right.
I might do it on purpose.
So that was really cool. And then the food thing was really interesting. They had this one booth that had soft serve ice cream in a pouch. So it was like the baby food applesauce pouch, but it was soft serve ice cream in there.
No.
And yeah, EB, like your face kind of like describes the actual experience there. There was a lot more like sucking than I really wanted to do on that. Like it was a lot of squeezing and sucking to get this ice cream out of there.
Yeah.
But it was a cool concept, and I'm sure we'll see that somewhere. Someone's gonna do that.
I don't like that at all. So fun, though. So fun.
Yeah, that sounds
weird
like
stuff that you can see and you can find at IAAPA.
I love it. I even saw that they had like full structures that you could buy, like a bar that you could just pick up and drop into your park.
The theming and the
Yeah, so that was really interesting. So they're actually a theming company that did work for Epic Universe. I was talking to the guy about it, but they were like, just to show off their theming, they built an Irish pub that they were trying to sell on the IAAPA floor while also trying to show off their like theming skills. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I don't know who's going to buy this Irish pub, but I love it. It's like the size of a backyard shed, which would be way more fun than a backyard shed. Like, trust me, like I would much rather have an Irish bar back there than like a place to store my lawnmower and whatnot.
Right.
So that was super cool. We did not get to go inside there because they were having a super secret meeting where they were signing a contract for some other park. So like, that's really cool. But I don't know what they're going to do, because a lot of times your creative companies that work on projects never can really admit that they did something. Like there was the model for like the Harry Potter Ministry ride, but it never said that. It was just like elevator concept.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder where I've seen that before. And I mean, Dynamic Attractions did the same thing with, because they worked on Forbidden Journey, and they had like the bench, but it was like they were only talking about their Batman ride in the UAE, because they typically, your big parks don't let you talk about all of your rides, which is why I'm kind of surprised Universal was like, yeah, go ahead, show off the Fast and the Furious coaster car.
Yeah, right.
Because we never really got anything else, right? We never got like Velocicoaster trains. We never got any Epic Universe trains before that park opened. So that's what I was asking them. I was like, is this like a nondescript Universal car, or like they're like, oh no, they signed off on this, because normally you've got a big sign that says like what it is, and this did not have that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so lots of cool stuff. And then the other thing that was awesome, this might have been my other favorite thing, was that they had this fancy robot with a microphone.
Oh, I saw this in your video.
ChatGPT 5.
Oh no, I don't like it.
And man, in our video we were talking about, because I didn't know what to ask him. I asked him what his favorite color was, and then we were slowly talking about like what his favorite roller coaster is, and he's like, it's Millennium Force. It's one of the tallest, fastest roller coasters at Cedar Point. Plus, it's blue, and I like the color blue. And then I was like, well, what's your favorite theme park? And he's like, oh, it's Islands of Adventure. I think they have a lot of great rides. And then named some of the rides they had there. And then I was like, can you make your voice different? And then he changed his voice to like a different robot voice.
Oh, weird.
And so it was super weird. A little delay. And then the guy who was running this booth was telling us that like a guy who works for like a weed distribution company came up and was like asking the robot like weed questions. He's like, this guy knows more about my product than my employees do.
Wow.
The robot was like aware of his company, aware of like what he sold and stuff. And he was like, I did not know ChatGPT knew this much about my company.
Crazy.
And he's like,
so
I want
funny.
one of these for my weed store.
Look, Indiana really needs to get on board with this, because there's a lot of tax revenue that's available. And seriously, what's the problem?
And then you could get a robot that tells everyone about the weed.
Yeah. And I saw there was a robot that was doing portraits.
That was really cool too. Mm-hmm. That was another application of
caricature
AI we had on the
artists
floor.
are getting replaced by AI.
Yes. Yeah.
That was cool. I didn't actually think of that as like but we probably are going to lose characters to this. Mm-hmm. It took probably just as long as it takes to get a character. Like there was probably like a 10-minute process for the robot to draw a photo that only kind of sort of looked like me.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess that's your characters too.
Yeah.
I did see some people that were successful that had ones that I was like, yep, no, that's you. But you took like legends in mine and they didn't quite look like us. I looked like a white guy. And I guess to be fair, that is me, but I don't, I feel like if EB and I were to get ones next to each other, our beards would look probably identical.
You
With
have
our
no
beards.
distinguishing features. I'll just draw a generic white guy.
Yeah, it looked very general. Yeah, that's the thing. So it didn't have like personality. It was just sort of,
Yeah. I was in a plaid shirt, and so it was going ham on doing all the plaid marks on it, which I thought was also really funny. Because like everyone else
a lot of
just
time
got
on your clothes. I'm sorry, I can't worry about your face.
That's what it's doing. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I remember like when we went, there was like virtual reality stuff everywhere. Is that kind of going away? Are people doing less and less?
Yeah, a lot of virtual reality is going away. There were several booths that had a very similar, it was like a 10 by 10 attraction where it was like tracking motion with cameras, and you were playing like an AR game where like you're running away from things on the screen or interacting with the screen in like this 10 by 10 booth room. And there was probably like 7 to 10 of these on the floor of just different games where it was all like gridded out. But it seems like that has sort of replaced the VR. And I mean, I can tell you like VR kind of sucks in attractions, right? Guests are monsters. Like they're going to take your VR helmet off and then just take it and accidentally drop it. And then you're now trying to repair that. Like, the arcade game from like 8 years ago, Beat Saber, that came out. The amount of it's super cool game, but the amount of people are like, and just like smash the VR headset. You're killing your costs. And so like at the end of the day, the industry doesn't really want VR anymore because the headsets are really expensive and like the games are cool, but how many games does someone need to play to replace that broken headset?
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
So I think we're going more. VR is slowly dying. AI was definitely on the rise, but I also kind of thought we would see more. I definitely thought we were going to see a lot more AI on the floor this year, and I think there was only like 6 or 7 booths selling something. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, someone's definitely selling some sort of like AR phone service where your guests answer and it answers questions for you in like an AR robot instead of having to have a phone operator, and like just all kinds of things that just, not that I'm saying I want this to happen. I just thought that's what was going to happen. IAAPA is normally really ahead on trends, and I didn't really see it.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun, man. This has been great. This is we need to do this more often just to talk about general things. But thank you so much for joining us and giving us the rundown, because I really feel like we got a good sense of what was going on. EB, don't you think? Like there on the show floor. Yeah,
there's so much that's down there, and so Drew, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know it's been a long week for you. I'm sure you're ready to be done. Do you have one more day at IAAPA? How much more of the show is left here? This is Thursday, the 20th here that we're recording the show.
I actually only went the first day, and we banged out 10 miles of walking
10
on
miles.
that first day on the show floor. Yeah. Legend has the Go Wild Pass. Backstory here. So he found a flight to California like midday Wednesday, and he's like, never mind, I'm just going to go to Disneyland instead.
I love it. Yeah.
Because he's got the unlimited Frontier Pass. So he just flies everywhere, and that's how we get content in all kinds of crazy cities and stuff. So he decided he didn't want to go to IAAPA on the Wednesday. And I was prepared to go Tuesday if we needed it, or Tuesday definitely, Wednesday if we needed it. But I mean, open to close, 10 miles, we saw probably 97% of the floor.
Okay, great.
Nice.
There was one thing I didn't see that other people were talking about, but there was this Boston Dynamics dog, which those really creeped me out.
Yeah, right.
But it was, but there was one that was covered in like a sheep, and it was like a fluffy sheep that was going up to people buying.
I've seen these in the parks. Epic Universe has one of these. It's a dragon.
Yeah, they have one of the like How to Train Your Dragon ones. Well, another booth, completely separate part of the floor, had a Triceratops, and that was adorable.
Oh, weird.
So I'm a little sad I didn't get to see the adorable sheep, but I did get to see the adorable
so weird.
Yeah.
The Triceratops.
That's so cool.
So much
I love that. That's what's neat about going there to IAAPA is just like there's innovation on around every corner, on every pathway there. It's so cool. Like,
and then what was crazy about IAAPA this year? So the first year I ever went, it was 14 years ago. It was like Clint Legend and I, and we went to the Young Professionals Expo afterwards, and it was like a dinner for like young professionals in the industry. And then when I got my IAAPA badge this year, and I was looking at the events, it specifically was like, you have aged out of this event, the Young Professionals.
Oh.
So now I've been going for so long that I am no longer a young professional in this industry.
Well done.
And that was like the first time in my life I've felt old. IAAPA was like,
Good
you're
job.
too old to attend this event. That's for people. And that's my only negative from the event this year was
Hey, thanks a lot, IAAPA. Thanks for me.
So you're no longer on the children's menu. Well done, Drew. This is great. Thank you so much, Drew. This is so much fun.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, that was great, man. It's always great to talk with Drew. It's been a long time. But yeah, I mean, we our two shows go way back. I mean, they go back to like in the very beginning with Clint Novak, and I think we did like a dual show at King's Dominion in the first season of Coaster Radio. So really cool stuff. Great to have him on.
Yeah, we've done several IAAPA reporting shows, and I think Drew has done a before, so it's great to have Drew back to do that. We do kind of go through the listeners who do get the privilege of being able to get to IAAPA reporting back on the show. Great to have Drew back again.
Yeah, so good, so good. So before we go, we want to tell you about a couple of things that we are working on as we close out season 20 here, because next week is Thanksgiving. Then we get into December, so that means just 4 shows left. One of those shows, of course, is going to be the ultimate final round, so we'll do that. We'll do our traditional end-of-year show where we crown the best new attraction of the year. We'll do that too. But also, I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Okay.
My favorite show, I love the Holiday Gift Guide. It's so fun, because I love seeing the creative gifts that are out there for theme park fans, especially now that we're getting into technology that allows people to create stuff on their own and sell it, because sometimes that fan-made stuff is the best stuff.
Yeah, and we've seen, again, talking about Coaster Radio's longevity, we've been doing the holiday gift guide, I think, from the very beginning. And we have seen some fans of Coaster Radio build up their own companies. I'm thinking about folks from like Coaster 101 and Made to Thrill, sending stuff and sharing with us some of the homemade products that they have. In fact, Mike, we've got a fan of Coaster Radio who sent something to us in the coasterradio.com mailbag.
Oh, it's mailbag time, hooray! Join the fun, let's hear what you say.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So the coasterradio.com mailbag, that's when I pick up mail from the P.O. Box. It's coasterradio.com, P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana 47402. We do need your help in assembling the Coaster Radio holiday gift guide. You send us your ideas, send us your suggestions, send us your links, feedback at Coaster Radio or anywhere on social media at Coaster Radio. But of course, you can actually send us samples of your products. Folks on Etsy, if you've got a small business, our friends who make calendars or t-shirts or posters, send them to us at the P.O. Box. And our good friend Barry Hill, I've got I'm opening it right now, Mike, here from the mailbox.
Oh, great.
Rivershore Press, longtime friend of the show, sent us a box. Opening it here, a book and a note.
Oh, nice.
EB and Mike, here's our latest project, a photographic history of theme park trains, past and present.
Nice.
The foreword is from Disney Railroad historian Michael Campbell, and the afterword is by Brett Iwan, official voice of Mickey Mouse. Lots of people contributed photos, including the family who built many of the original park railroads, such as Kings Island, Busch Gardens, etc. Available only at rivershorepress.com. Do we still do the ding? Put the ding in there.
I gotta
keep
find
Amazon from destroying them. To keep Amazon from destroying them along the way. Rivershorepress.com. Enjoy. Happy holidays, Barry. So this is a Barry Hill book. He also, of course, sent in. Barry's been a great friend of the show. Some of the things he has sent us and we've had on the holiday gift guide in the past: Adventures of a Theme Park Designer, a great profile of Rick Bastrup and Richard Farron, who have designed many attractions. Kings Island, A Ride Through Time, a fantastic look back at the history of Kings Island. Imagineering an American Dreamscape, the Genesis, Evolution, and Redemption of the regional park. And my favorite one that he's ever done, Kings Island, A Photographic Journey.
Yes.
A great big coffee table book of artwork and photographs of Kings Island. But this new book, Ticket to Ride, America's Theme Park Trains, this is a great book. And I want to say this is a good entry to the theme park world gift idea.
Yes.
If you've got a dad or a granddad that you need a gift for, every dad loves trains. I think when you become a dad, you suddenly like trains.
Yes,
It's
you're right.
one of those things.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Or like the model railroads and stuff.
Right.
Sure,
Or
yeah.
like you automatically become somebody who has a grill, right?
Yes,
This
right.
is the same sort of thing when you become a dad. So if you need a gift for your dad, get this book, Ticket to Ride from Barry Hill and Rivershore Press. It goes through and talks about the history of theme park trains. Wonderful photographs, goes park by park and talks about the trains and where they came from, how they're built, how they're restored, how they're maintained. Really, really beautiful book. But this is an example of what should be in the holiday gift guide, Mike.
Yeah.
So send us the ideas that you have. Not only if you yourself, like Barry here, if you've got products that you want to share with us, send them to the P.O. Box. If you've got ideas of things that you want to give as a gift, or maybe you want to receive as a gift, feedback at coasterradio.com is the email address. At Coaster Radio is us on social media. Send those to us. We're going to probably take Thanksgiving week off, but then when we come back in December, it's time for the holiday gift guide episode of coasterradio.com.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this. So we've done 23 episodes in a row without taking a break. So I think that Thanksgiving week is a good time to take a week off, especially because nobody's going to listen to the show on Thanksgiving Day anyway when it drops. So let's take next week off. That would mean that the holiday gift guide episode would record on Wednesday, December 3rd. So you want to get everything into us by like December 1st. That's an easy day to remember. So get like all your ideas in. Sometimes, if somebody sends a really good idea, we send that person like some type of prize or something cool in the mail if they give us something really good. But if you're somebody who does sell something and wants the Coaster Radio audience to know, make sure you get that to EB's post office box by December 1st or December 2nd, right? Because that's when you'll go and pick up all the stuff, and we'll have it for the show when we record on the 3rd.
Yeah, if you're hearing this now and you're like, ooh, I should send him my t-shirt. I should send him my laser cut doohickey. That's a park thing. Yeah. Send it to us. It's coasterradio.com, P.O. Box 3399, Bloomington, Indiana, 47402. But of course, links is what we're looking for too. You don't have to be somebody who has a product yourself, but just something maybe you've discovered or found or think is a great thing. I really want to see folks sending in stuff from their local parks, from their regional parks. If you see something, send it to us. Feedback at Coaster Radio or social media at Coaster Radio. If you're watching the webcast here, YouTube at Coaster Radio, Mike is holding up, what is this, a gondola, a tram ride?
Yeah.
What is this?
This is like a Von Roll gondola that I bought on Etsy because I just thought it was so cool that somebody 3D printed one of these. And look at that. That's pretty cool, right? And you
this is the kind of stuff that we need for the holiday gift guide. So something for the super nerd, for the giant thusi, whatever it is that you got to send to us.
Love it.
Let us know. The holiday gift guide coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you remember these? Remember these what are these? These light rides?
Oh,
remember
the light up things. Yeah, these are great on your desktop.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can mine still light up? Let me see. Oh, it does. See, it's
sure.
hard to see on the thing, but yeah, it's like, so things like that people are selling out there. We want to know about them.
We have to go and dig through our stuff now. And
right. But that's the best thing. There are people who listen to the show that are making things and selling them. Like send one.
That's abandoned, hauntingly beautiful, deserted theme parks. This is a great coffee table.
Right. But it's cool if we can actually hold them and try them out and talk about them on the show. And like this is the audience that you want to sell to for sure. So so let's do that. That's going to be fun. So what a great show. I had so much. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So you got 2 weeks to get all your stuff in. But send us those ideas. And we've got the traditional things we always talk about, but we want to hear about those new things too. So like EB said, feedback at coasterradio.com and the P.O. box. So, so what a fun show. Great to have Drew here from In the Loop, and great to hear about all the cool things that are happening at IAAPA. You and I, EB, will be in Florida in February. We are still working behind the scenes on all the details, but the Coaster Radio meetup coming up on February 22nd. Is that the right date? Yep.
I think that's absolutely right. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be at SeaWorld on February 22nd, Sunday. If it becomes an official meetup, we're going to wait and see if SeaWorld actually wants to jump in on this and make it a thing. But I'm going to be in the park. Come ride some rides with me. That's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And Monday, Tuesday, Mike, I think you're going to be down there for sure. And we're going to be either hitting up Epic Universe. Maybe we'll get to Disney. Maybe we'll get to Fun Spot. So book your tickets now. I think flights are cheap. But the 21st, 22nd in February, that weekend is when Coaster Radio is going to be in Orlando. That's the next Coaster Radio meetup. You've been asking for it. Well, it's happening. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, so this is a fun live episode. No editing, just straight through. I mean, it's rare that we do a live episode where we don't like cut everything together. So we appreciate you guys listening to this. We appreciate the live audience who is watching us on YouTube. That was really cool. Appreciate Drew being with us from In the Loop. And we also appreciate everybody who supports the show in a variety of ways. But the way that we really appreciate it, because it helps keep the show going financially. It helps with all the technology. It helps with the equipment we buy, helps get us out to the parks. That's by going to patreon.com/Coaster Radio.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who supports the show at patreon.com/Coaster Radio. There's lots of different pledge levels, $1, $5, $10. There's perks, bonus content, all sorts of stuff. You can get into the Discord, depending on what pledge level you're at. There's a discount if you pledge a whole year, which is really cool. But we do like to say thanks to everybody who pledges at the $20 a month level. One of those perks that they get is we say their name on the podcast. Alex Payne, Brian Wackler, Chris Rankin, Cincinnati Nick the Sweatshirt Guy, our friends at Club Z, the two bearded coaster Chris's, CM Venom, Colton Toms, Dino Grace, John Brody, John Brown, Josh Combs, and Justin Padilla.
Also Karen and Lee Halloran, Kevin Wilson, Kyle Kiefer, our friends at Made to Thrill, Matt Walker, Nick from Paris, Paulo de los Reyes, Rich Barber, Rick Burnley, Shane Mankiewicz, Tom from Louisville, and Zachary Carpenter.
Also, let's say thanks to Lindner Design Company, specializing in branding, illustration, and small batch custom apparel. You can find them on Instagram at Lindner Design.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday. We will be back in 2 weeks for the holiday gift guide. And then, guys, we're like starting to close out the year. Season 20 has just got 4 more shows left, but they're going to be good ones here at Coaster Radio.
Back in 2 weeks.
You've been listening to Coaster Radio, the original theme park podcast. To learn more about the show and hear hundreds of episodes from the archives, visit our website at coasterradio.com. This is your announcer, Neil Patrick Harris. Thanks for listening. Peace out, suckers. Coaster Radio is a production of Lift Hill Media, LLC. Audio and video from this program may not be broadcast, edited, or reproduced without our express written permission. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. This was all done in one breath.